Hello there.
It's
How are you?
Doing well today. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. This is my
your buddy.
yeah, buddy 50. Makes me feel old, yeah. I think they're gonna tell me to move
What's
it
up,
eventually.
buddy?
How
are you,
no,
man?
I'm well. How are you?
Good, good.
Hello, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you, Mitch.
Again, your name was?
Robert.
Robert. Yeah, thank you. Sorry. Jason, hello.
So, down. Is there anything going on, Mitch?
Well,
I need to get my news from you, man. You know what's going on.
I used to.
We missed like 2 or 3 protests that you told us about.
I
didn't even know until later.
Yeah, now I'm going to be the one missing it. I've got a real job I've got to do. So this is, yeah, I'm out at the cutting weeds. So they take.
Get your job.
Yeah.
You asked for it.
Yeah, got to pay some bills now.
Oh yes, and I got to get cruising too anyway. How long does it take to get back? We can
Call
make
it
it
40 minutes, just at a slow pace.
Should we go with them?
We spend a few more minutes. We just
Sure?
You're
good?
Yeah, I know the way.
Good.
Good to meet you. Yeah. I'll be down here on Tuesdays, I think, is when I'm coming down.
All right.
Yeah. I'll come down earlier, though. I figured nobody would be here because last week nobody was here, so. Yeah, it's pretty.
Pretty late.
Yeah. Well, it was raining as well last week around this time.
Was it?
Yeah. It didn't stop raining till like 4:30, so. So maybe I assumed that's when all the workers got off as well. So I just took it slow today.
Yeah.
Gonna work for hours, do some hours.
So what are your hours?
They've got me doing the close on Wednesday through Sunday, so until midnight sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, wow. 11 to midnight, somewhere around there, depending on how long it takes to put it all away. We have to lock all the weed up every night, so that's a chore.
So I heard that you went on this tour with them.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me a little bit about your experience from your point of view?
Yeah. You can see me in a lot of the videos lurking around, and so we before we went, we were talking about a difference between some preachers and others, about how some preachers are out there to be seen doing something, and some people are out there to do something, like to have conversations. And so, and that's what we were talking about. So before the tour, and I asked to go on it because I really have not been to a lot of those locations. I've only been to New York once, never been to Chicago, never been to Washington D.C., and so, and also personally, I wanted to go because more about why I wanted to go. When people come to Denver, especially the mall here, where you've seen me a couple times, and so this is sort of my home area, and I've been working here for 5 years, and I really like the tradition of street preaching. So when people come to Denver and they don't know about what we're doing in Denver, it's because they didn't do their research, So I wanted to go out to other cities and challenge them to debates in their streets, show them what I expected them to act like in my city, sort of. They don't know how to behave when they come here because I haven't shown them in their cities, I guess. So, and then while we were having conversation,
so you were challenging street preachers that you met
in Chicago and New York to be like, hey, here I am, let's have the debate. I've come to your city, and there you're not. Nobody came to see us. We were very vocal about where we were going and what we were doing, and nobody came down to contest us. So that's not how I would like to do it here, though. I like it when people come to town. I like to meet them. Although I did just miss that guy in the sackcloth came through town. Did you see that?
Yeah, I missed it too.
I was so mad. Oh, I really would like. Yeah. Well, it's not really. I don't remember.
He's actually they don't really watch YouTube and whatnot, but famous Living Waters Tabernacle.
Sounds close.
Something? I don't remember.
Something, yeah. I could find it.
He's this dude that just wears a sackcloth.
But underneath the sackcloth, he's got this red material. So it's not like he's wearing sackcloth. He's wearing a sackcloth T-shirt. And then he comes to towns when there's no one around and just preaches, and the last he preaches is right at the camera, and it's like, this is all for show, dude.
Did you notice that? Even in New York, I was like, he must go out at like 4 a.m. or something.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to not find people. Like, Times Square in the daytime, okay, dude.
Yeah,
like, we went at night as well. Yeah, we went there. Like, so
I'll be right back.
Yeah. And so, and then during the month before it, sort of, the city was taking out its aggression on them in a way that they hadn't deserved, and so, Joseph and Dean were preaching once at the Capitol, right at the beginning of the George Floyd stuff, and they almost got beat up.
Oh, like by citizens?
Yeah, citizens, young kids that just are not here for the conversation. They just know that it's time for punching, and so, so we were with a lot of people. The way that I do things is so off-putting that they say, I'll never have a friendship with him. And so then I show them, that's you're a bad guy then, and so they were not falling for that tactic, and we were becoming friends about it, and so they invited me on the trip, and so, I wanted to go, and so I did. And it was a lot of fun. It was everything I wanted it to be.
Except for me always passing out, poor guy. He was my Uber. I was supposed to do half the driving, and I just was exhausted.
We all were. We got home on time. Like, we were always everywhere on time with those drives. It was really impressive. Yeah, it was. Yeah. And we went to some cool places, really cool places, and I'm really proud of a lot of the work I did. I did a lot of live streaming to YouTube, which I hadn't really done before.
Some good stuff.
It automatically uploads.
Yeah. And so I would just do like 5 minutes here and there, and then just those strung together look really good. Like as far as like something to post, right? Because there's the stuff we do that's behind the scenes, as it were, and there's I post online to YouTube, my best stuff to be like, here's what I'm trying to do. What do you guys think about this? To sort of like see if anyone is hearing the stuff I'm saying. And so I'm also thinking about the product that I'm doing, and I'm really proud of the product that I made during that tour. And it was a blast. It was good stuff.
Mitch, thinking about going to Utah, buddy.
Yeah. The Utah, Nevada, California, is that?
I don't think that's gonna work.
Oh, okay.
I definitely think
Just to preach, or? Cool. They have their.
I was gonna say,
Isn't that Mormon Central?
Yeah.
that's where he came out.
Is he from Utah?
Los Angeles and Utah, my people, 7 generations ago, 6 generations from me, a web crossed the plains for Brigham Young. So, I'm from pioneer stock, on both sides, my mother's side and my father's side.
Your family was with Brigham Young.
Yeah.
6 generations.
Yeah. So, and then we were in Utah for that many generations. So
your family was. Has everyone that you know in your family been into that except for you, or have some people?
No, he was.
Yeah.
I know you came out.
Yeah. Around 35, I really came out. My sister was out all the time, but not really by her choosing, just because, she was into tattoos and stuff. So we just sort of shunned her. So she knew she was the bad Mormon. So, but now I don't believe in it, and she kind of still does believe in the deity of it. She just thinks she's a bad person. So they're all sort of Mormon of mind. Yeah. My cousins as well are. Most of them. Some are out. It is a time of the Mormons are always losing people. Like, lots of things are going on in Mormonism. Yeah.
I'd imagine they're probably not getting a whole lot of people into it.
Well, we do that missionary stuff. I baptized 26 people on my mission to New Zealand. I was involved in 26 baptisms, yeah. So the missionary...
That's a lot of people.
Mm-hmm, that Joseph Smith had seen God the Eternal Father, yeah. And they felt it in their heart. And then I found out it wasn't true. And so I just sort of had a really, really serious cognitive dissonance about those ideas.
Sure.
Yeah. So, and then the tools that I used to sort of disprove Mormonism worked just as well for Christianity in general. And so I don't want to, disprove you of your belief or anything, but I just want to sort of explain my position. After I woke up from Mormonism, I couldn't continue to be theistic at all, in fact. So once I started thinking critically about the wrong subject, I just really lost a lot of tools I thought I had, because I was very religious. I was a very good Mormon for a while.
So then, not being theistic, are you philosophical materialist? Meaning there's no spiritual realm, only material.
Well,
we're controlled essentially by the chemical reactions in our brain, no free will.
I don't see a good argument for the freeness of the will in either case. In the case that it's been seen from the beginning, or in the case of we're just sort of rocks falling down a hill, sort of telling a story about it. Like, I have to eat when I'm hungry, you know what I mean? Like the more hungry I get, the more closed off other options I get. So my will is constrained by how hungry I am.
There's limitations to the freedom of the will, if there is freedom of will, which I believe there is.
I think that there is a will, and so I don't think we need to get hung up on the freedom of it, because I think that I would agree to the will. I think
that we make a choice, that we make conscious decisions.
That we are each a decision machine, yes. I will agree with the point that, because it's not really about the freeness of it, it's about where is the will. And the will is internal to what is me, and there's another one internal to what is you, and I think it's a different one.
So do you think that is non-material?
Are emotions non-material? So it really depends on our definitions. It is real. And if you were to call it a spirit, I wouldn't disagree until you would say something like, and the spirit is eternal. And it's like, where is the evidence that what we've been assigning to that is eternal? So we can work on the definition so that we're communicating, but the idea I think that you're asking is only reality here? And I think the answer is yes. I'm not trying to avoid an answer to your question. I'm trying to get to the crux of it. Is that what we have here is all there is? Yes. I do not think there's a part of me that is eternal.
So when you die, your view is that it's over, like black, or not even black, just can't even describe.
Yeah, so our consciousness is traveling through time forward. There was a time before our consciousness was doing what it does, and we don't remember it as being black. I think we'll go exactly back to where we were. I'm 42 years old, so I'll be...
So you're saying before we were born, our consciousness...
So like a fire, okay? If I have a match here, there's no fire. And when I strike it, there is a fire. And then the fire will extinguish eventually. And where does the fire go? It's more like that. When the song is sung, where does it go? We are, in my belief, the thing that I call myself is a sort of optical illusion being projected by the material that is me. it could be analogous, or in the same analogy, I think you would describe the idea that you are that thing from outside of this universe which pilots the vehicle. Okay? I think that the spirit is the part of you that comes into this universe from outside of it, and that should be thought of as the real you.
It might be semantical, but like I guess I haven't thought of my spirit as having come from outside of the universe so much as being created as a part of my material body. It's like to me they're inseparable in my experience. I can't separate my spirit from my body in my experience.
Right.
In my belief, there's a sense, and also somewhat in my experience, there's a difference between just the physical body and what the scripture might call the inward man, or the spirit, or something that's deeper.
And I think that analogy I would see that analogy as being, there's a difference between the hardware, the computer, the cell phone, and the software that it's running when it's running. And so the electrical patterns that are doing the program.
Hardware versus software.
Right.
I get
and
that.
so I have no problem saying I am both. I am the hardware and the software that's running. All of that is Mitchell. But I don't think that there's a part of that will survive the destruction of the body. I think that Mitchell is now, and Mitchell is eternal, because here I am and I'll never not have been. But Mitchell is constrained to a sort of while the fire is burning.
Yeah, well,
so now actually, to be honest with you, I just got that. You did explain that before, now it makes sense. So you're saying, like, this is your eternity, right here, right now, and then there's no afterlife, there's no...
There are different kinds of infinity.
Okay.
And some people believe that the soul is born when the body is born, and that we're infinite in one direction. That after that there's a judgment and we'll go to heaven, and that's great. As Mormons, I believe there was another infinity, that we were co-created with God around the same time, that we were infinite beings in both directions. But inside of an inch, there's an infinite number of subdivisions. And that infinity is the infinity that we're experiencing, that inside of my life contains me. So that there won't be a moment where I'm outside of it regretting what I had done, because the regret can only come from inside. In Mormonism, there was a being that came into my body. It had a different name. They told it to me in the temple. They said, "You are Reuben. That's your real name." And Reuben might be inhabiting me, and he can go on and live his life afterwards. But I am Mitchell, and Mitchell only exists from my birth to my death. And if the ghost is also Mitchell, I will deal with that when it happens. I believe it won't. I believe really that there is no spirit, that we are really do contained inside our reality.
Well, so would you think part of why you view it that way is because you've rejected theism altogether? If you were, and just hypothetically, if you were to believe in theism, would that open the door for you? Any kind of monotheism?
Yeah.
Or I guess theism.
No, if Jesus were to arrive here today and say, well, you've got most of it right, but you're totally wrong. Here I am. There is a spirit. This is a test. Don't think of this as real life. Think of that other one as real life. I understand you were led astray by all these things. I probably would have been too. But now you're a prophet. You know the truth. It's going to be hard to explain it. I'm in. The point is...
That's one thing I loved about him.
Right.
He's always said, prove it.
Right. Because
and the only way that I can prove to him is just my who I am now as opposed to who I was. That's all I can give. That's all I can give, because.
And it's good evidence for the transformative power of the religion that you have developed during your life. It's good evidence. But it's as good as the evidence that I was giving to people who I was converting to Mormonism. I was saying, but listen to how we feel right now as I tell the story, and that is the Holy Ghost. It could have been I was invoking the Kundalini spirit or something else and assigning it a different name, but the results were the same. These people were spiritually convinced that what I had taught them was true. And so when it comes down to
in the bosom, right?
yeah. And so I can make that feeling appear where people say it cannot, and so I think it sort of calls into question how trustworthy that source is. But I think evidence that everyone finds convincing is enough to build all of my reactions out of. Because as a decision machine, my job might be to get back to heaven, but my job is to live a good life, I think, right? As a ethical agent, a moral agent in what's going on. I can recognize that whatever's going on here is probably also going on over there, probably also going on over there. We need a system that's fair, and so we need to act ethically towards each other. Otherwise, this is just survival of the strongest. And so I think from there I have to predict my future. I have to figure out how to react to things in a way that's most ethically. And I think we can get to those answers without moving into a religious space. We can move like very emotional. We can talk about our values and how they coincide, and how we would expect everyone to behave if we could all understand each other. But as far as like why, as far as whether it's for a reward or an eternal, not reward, but an internal grade, a judgment, I think it doesn't need to come into our actions. They can be our sort of secret. So religion is very personal to me, and so it just really depends on how it affects your actions.
Well, it would have to be personal if you're non-theistic. It would have to be personally adapted to each person's point of view.
Yes, I that is absolutely my point of view. That every person has developed their own religion, and they've attempted to say, mine is like yours in this way, thus we are the same religion. But in reality, each person has come up with a different sort of a different subset of what we might call a pure religion. And I think that not just each person, but each attempt. I think Christianity has a subset, and Mormonism did, and Scientology might, and each person's religion is as true as the others.
I'm beginning to get a picture of some of the conclusions that you've come to, and maybe some of how you've gotten there. I can't help but thinking that there's so many subdivisions of topics of that are so intertwined,
right?
But I like one major one is God or is God not?
Right.
It's like is one of the bigger like that's going to make a huge difference in where you go from the start. And so like I'm not a big bookworm type, but I have reasons as to why I believe in God is not just a personal God for me, but the God who actually created all things. And I would, just as a friend and as an acquaintance, as a human being, be willing to try to articulate and even learn more for myself, for my own. Being able to articulate what I believe, have a discussion about reasons, like not just like I do have. Honestly, I started with experiences that led me to where I am.
Right.
But I have grown to have more and more reasons.
Right.
And if I was to really try to compile those, I think I could try to articulate. And I'd be interested to hear what you would have to say.
Right.
I do so if you'd be willing, that I'd be willing to as well. I have come to a conclusion personally that although I believe that God does exist and has created us, that there is enough evidence on either side for theism and atheism that someone could just present what they want to believe and be convinced of it.
Correct. And that's called confirmation bias.
So I can see why someone who wants to be an atheist could present enough reasoning to say, well, I'm going to be this, and pretty much whatever somebody else presents, there's a counterpoint.
Right.
But I've seen, like, and often someone would say, there's no counterpoint to the other side, and so I can't believe it, but that's not true. I've seen, well, there's actually a good counterpoint on the other side, but I've seen, like, because I've had discussions, college campuses, and I've listened to these debates, and it's like, it just seems like when it comes down to it, people will believe what they want.
Yes.
And reason seem to have less to do with it, unless someone somehow actually is seeking for truth, which seems kind of rare. And I don't know your views on truth. It seems like you'd have to take more of a subjective and personalized kind of view of truth, but I'm not going to claim that that's what you view. I just seems like most people I've met that view similar to you come to that conclusion is like all truth is personalized to some degree or another.
Okay.
To a larger degree. So I know I just presented a whole ball of things.
Yeah. No. I like a lot of the steps you took. You're describing a very long conversation, which I would be pleased to have with you. You sound.
Something.
We don't smoke. Sorry about that. Yeah, we're all religious people. Sorry about that.
Shut up, bitch.
And I would like to have that conversation with you. I have the time and I have the audience for it as well. More than I'd like to do it. I've been looking for long conversations for years in the street. As far as where I think it will go, I think we'll get back to that. So why a person believes something is sort of the idea that is called epistemology, right? Mm-hmm. What the sort of what can we consider knowledge? What is good enough evidence to say I know? What can be known and what is sort of surmised, and what's the difference between deduction and induction and all those things, and absolutely I'd love to come to terms on each of those ideas, especially in front of an audience, so that our good faith conversation here wouldn't just edify ourselves, although it would. Our conversation, it already has been. We've come to terms on quite a number of things. Our minds have come together. The language in both of our brains has infected each other. You're more me and I'm more you because what we've already talked to, and so we can do it out of our own curiosity, and if we can also preserve it for other people to come and watch us have that conversation, I think the value of it would be multiplied, and I think that there is power in multiplication.
I would present a concern that I have.
Mm-hmm.
Is that I know that some people's agenda, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not projecting this on you,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a real concern,
Yeah.
that it's possible to chop and clip up things to make someone look like they're saying something that they're not.
Correct.
I personally wouldn't want I wouldn't want myself or the God that I believe in to be projected in that kind of way.
Absolutely.
So that's just something that...
Right, and as evidence that I'm capable of no mistreatment, I recorded the tour that we were having, and I have no intention of misrepresenting anything that was said there. You can see how I treat the ecclesia here as how you can expect to be treated as well. The reason I talk about my 5 years experience is when people see me on the street, they think I'm a crazy person doing this for the first time, and I've been working on this costume for a while. Like this is a long time project for me, and this is very definitely part of it. Different viewpoints coming together. How similar are the conversations that people are having? The more we listen to each other, the more we realize we have in common. I really believe that. I do believe that we're all having a very, very similar experience here, and the more our language can communicate, the more the more benefit we've collected, right? Like I'm proud of where we are in the world, and I think we can.
This is just a side point. You really think that what's going on in the world right now is like, this is great. That's like startling to me.
I think that there are the indicators not to say that we see what we want to see, but the indicators for all stories are there. The confirmation bias will tell you what you want to see. And so, if I do want to see this Earth rising, I can do it with charts, and I can do it maybe with charts. Yeah, diagrams.
Oh, like print out different facts.
Yeah,
about,
and we can talk about how many deaths per thousand there were to war in the century before, and how many deaths to disease, and how the infant mortality rate.
Please don't be offended at me looking at the time.
No, not at all.
We may have to go very soon.
I don't mean to keep you, because I'm here on the mall, and I want our conversation to continue. So I don't need to get it done today. We have built, and we will build on this, and I think you'll come back because I am here for a good faith conversation, and I'm proving that the people who aren't having conversations with me are not. Yeah, many people on the street. I've heard from a second source, but they're both very dubious, that Kerrigan Skelly is moving to town this month.
Somebody told. Was it you?
Yeah. I heard it about a month ago, and then I heard it again a week ago. So I'd be really excited if he started preaching on my mall here. That would be great. That'd be really fun. Hello there.
How you doing?
Very well. I like your medallion. Are you part of the posse? Excellent. I've met many people. It's like a family, isn't it?
The what?
The Insane Clown Posse has a group of fans that find themselves very well connected to each other, much like a family. And that's the thing that I've heard the most about the Insane Clown Posse.
Yeah.
We were just having a conversation about religion, though my friends here do have places to be. Are you religious, my friend?
Believe there's a God. Gotta be some kind of God. Yeah.
So generally theistic, would you describe yourself? Are you Christian and
Agnostic.
agnostic? I feel similar. I feel that they're
I believe there's, I definitely believe there's God, man.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely, and yeah, definitely, bro. I definitely believe, bro.
Well, we like to come down here and have conversations about religion. You can hear them on my YouTube channel, right there.
What do you believe?
No, I'm not Christian, but my two friends here are. I'm a Pastafarian. Have you heard of Pastafarianism?
What?
Pastafarianism? I'm a Pastafarian. Have you heard of that?
No. Rastafari?
No, the other one, Pastafarian.
What's that?
It is a sort of satirical religion to show the flaws that we see in other people's religiosity.
What?
It's sort of a criticism of mainstream religions at the moment.
Yeah.
So, but you can learn more on my YouTube channel there if you do want to hear some of my
I
sermons.
definitely don't believe in Catholicism.
Is that right? My friend here was raised Catholic.
Yeah, I don't believe it either.
Constantine, Constantine, he created the Trinity.
Yeah.
And that's where it's all rooted into. Okay, there's one God. And back in the day, Constantine might think, how you guys got to do this, that, and it's with Trinitarian.
You changed.
You got a lot of Trinitarian friends today.
I know, because
You got Baptists, they believe in the Trinity. You got Methodists. It's all rooted for Catholicism.
So, what is true Christianity?
Apostolic. That's
In the book of Acts, it said that the apostles and those with them kept everything in common. Do you think that the apostles were practicing socialism or communism?
No, apostles. They all had problems.
Do you think communism was one of their flaws?
I think it would be good for us to go to make it back on time.
Yeah.
Look, Mormons. Hello, Mormons. How are you? We've been having a religious conversation here for about an hour. Would you like to join us? Roger, see you soon.
He was like, ding, that reminds me of me.
Yeah, the 18th. It's very good to see you. Very good to see you. We'll see you soon. Absolutely. Thank you for listening. And this conversation will go on as long as you have patience for it. See you soon. I'll see you soon. I'm going to go set up over here and see if I can get some donations.
I told you when I got back I was going to try to work on it.
Oh, man.
He's got me pedaling.
Oh, good. Good for you. Good for you. Stay hydrated, man. It is hot. See you soon. Have you heard of the Flying Spaghetti Monster? The one true cult on this earth, the cult of Flying Spaghetti Monster. Do not be alarmed, do not be frightened. My name is Schizophrenic Mitch, I'm a real preacher from the cult of Flying Spaghetti Monster. I've been preaching on this street for 5 years. My credentials are here. Also online, I have a list of my sermons here. You can review the tape and tell me if I'm here in good or bad faith. I have much evidence to cite. I have a backlog of arguments for you to catch up to. I've been preaching in the street, as I say, for a number of years, and today is my Friday, so it's time to preach again. I'm sorry that my sermons are going to be so reactionary instead of timeless like I do like them to be. But last week on this very spot I was punched in the head by a person that does not believe in free speech. A coward that doesn't like being called a coward. Ladies and gentlemen, this person resorted to violence. And today, because it seems like you people don't know this, I'm here to tell you, violence betrays you immediately. Some people don't live long enough to regret the violence. Violence as a last choice sort of details more your inability to find another one. It is last because it is fatal. It is, of course, also a distraction. No one who wishes to see the end of the movie could use violence to interrupt the movie. The people who insert violence into conversations do not want to get to the end of that conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been to the end of many of the conversations you're afraid of. I'm here to tell you there's nothing to fear. Reality is worthy. We do not need fantasy. We do not need an extra layer of fiction or metaphor or optical illusion to turn this reality into something that means something. This place means something to me, and it ought to mean something to you. And thus we have proven that this place has meaning without multiplying by infinity. The one true cult on this earth, the cult of Flying Spaghetti Monster. There is no longer such a thing as righteous violence. Neither is there violent language, ladies and gentlemen. We must no longer conflate the two ideas. Nothing I can say can be construed as violence There is a line between violence and speech. And the more you blur it, the more they'll use that blur against you. How much of what you say can be considered violence to someone? And are you willing to give up those statements? Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time to defend the First Amendment. But the second is only there in case we lose the first, which I swear we shall not. The First Amendment is what makes this country great. The bravery of our forefathers to in one statement dare all oncoming thought, to make its best argument, for bad arguments shall be defeated in conversation, and no longer shall we use war to prove our points, but we shall use our minds and our tongues. So please join me in the longest conversation you've ever had in your life. Conversation about truth and reality and love. Have you heard of the Flying Spaghetti Monster? I think you'll like my YouTube channel. See you online. I also have free placebo if you'd like some. Also, these rocks will cure you of superstition. The one true cult on this earth, the cult of Flying Spaghetti Monster. Do join today, please. Allow me to change your life. Give me a moment to change your mind. Tomorrow can be different. I can show you how to change this world. I can give you the tools to make this reality something you can be proud of. I will unlock your spirit from the chains of shyness and politeness that bind you. And you can work all of your moments for truth and reality. Please do join my cult, the cult of Flying Spaghetti Monster. The one true cult on this earth. A lot of people are using the news to justify their apocalypse cult. But I tell you, you cannot count every downturn as the end. We are on a wave, and many waves come and go, and sometimes they coincide, and they can feel like we shall never recover. But this is a very narrow view of reality. If we take a breath and think about time as something closer to what it is, instead of thinking of time in human-sized chunks, we'll know that this cannot be the end, in fact. That there's practically nothing we can do to cause the end. And the inevitability of humanity is still for thousands of years. And this is where we shall be, humanity. And our children will have to deal with the consequences of our decisions. Let me show you how to be a moral agent in this reality. Let me show you how not to sell your humanity away to an ancient god of blood and lies. The one true cult on this earth, the cult of Flying Spaghetti Monster. Please do join today. Have you heard of the Flying Spaghetti Monster? The one true cult on this earth, the cult of Flying Spaghetti Monster. Please do join today. The first Pastafarian cult of YouTube. Do not be shy, do not be alarmed. I'm a real preacher from the cult of Flying Spaghetti Monster. The one true cult. First Pastafarian cult of YouTube. Hello there, Mormons, I've waited. How long do you have to converse today? Cool. I'll be back next Tuesday. Can I speak with you then?
Yeah.
What time next Tuesday?
Are you here all day?
I'll be here when you're here.
I'll
come to meet you.
How we come Tuesday in the morning? How about like 10:30?
10:30. On these square blocks over there? They're a good place to sit.
Okay.
Cool. I also am a Mormon.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I served my mission in New Zealand in 97 and 99.
Awesome.
I was involved in 26 baptisms.
Awesome.
I'd like to prove to you that your religion is a cult and false, and I'd like to save your families from the cult.
All right, we'll talk about it on Tuesday at 10:30.
Will we?
All right.
10:30, see you there. Hello there.
What are you telling them about?
I'm talking about Pastafarianism and how it saved me from Mormonism. They're
Yes.
Mormons. I used to be Mormon, I'm not anymore.
Yeah.
And I'd like to prove to them that they're wrong.
So how is the Pastafarian way the way to go?
Because it recognizes that each of our way is different, and that you're a prophet of the Creator just like everybody else is. So everybody else is trying to take your power from you, and I'm trying to show you your power so that you can use it. And that's the major difference as I see it. My YouTube information is right here. You can learn more about it there.
Yeah, I'd love to take a look.
Cool.
Right on.